Hello, Nicholas here. Welcome to the Akousunesis method. If you're new here, welcome. We have a whole infrastructure of learning for you. So I've got the website, I've got my book, and I've got the YouTube channel as well to create videos that complement, and they're all synced and linked together. So today we're going to look at composition. So I'm on my website here. So we're going to go down to composition over here. We're up to lyrics. So with the composition lessons, we're actually creating a song and it's going to expand. So we start with the first steps and then we move on to we're creating a song skeleton, lesson 2, and then we're just building from that. So we're up to lyrics now. What I also did was so I'm not going to waste too much time trying to work out the words now of a song. I did a live session on that. So this is like preparing the composition lesson, which is the lesson I'm going to make right now. So you can go watch that because there's a lot of tips in that. But the result of that is this video here. So, all right, so we have a song skeleton from the previous videos, lesson 2. So a song skeleton, we have the chords and we have a single note, and sometimes we add an extra note if we like what we're doing with the melody. But we have a single, all represented in intervals, okay? Again, if you're new here and you're not sure what intervals are and all that, I've got a whole lesson series that explain all that. All right, verse 1, where did we get up to? So today we're going to add some lyrics, and so this video too is it's not just lyrics. We're actually going to concentrate and look out for the sound of the lyrics, the tone we're making with our voice, how much harmonics we put in our voice. And we're looking out for syllable, tone, and pitch combinations. Now what that is sometimes you hear a song, like a pop song, as someone singing, and there's a certain part of that song that really stands out. And it's a place where the singer has tuned in with exactly where the song, and it's sort of like a highlight. So it's usually just a word or a syllable of a word, usually just the syllable, and it really stands out. And if you're ever creating a song and you pick up on one of those points, you need to emphasize it. So instead of rushing over it, you should just go slowly and let the note and the resonance and everything come out of your voice. And I will show you what we mean if we've hit something here. I don't think I've hit one of those special moments in this song, but when you hit it, you'll know what it is. So it's about picking a word, the actual note, and the chord. So for instance, with this piece, right? Well, what we got inspired first was with the intro. So we started with an intro and we got this much so far. Now what we're doing, we're anchoring here on the B, which is the 2nd of A minor, which becomes this major 7th. And it becomes a -5. Actually, we decided to stay up on the 5 on that one. But of course we can change it any time. And we're anchoring again on that C, which is the high 3, and we're anchoring it onto the 7th. And we're coming out of key on a 3M. Okay, so the 3M is a harmonic minor, right? Is a chord. It's introducing the note G sharp. So we're in the key of C, right? But the melodic mode, the harmonic, introduces the note G sharp, and that's where that comes from. So always a 3M is going to sound good. Okay, so we have now, okay, so what did we do? So we had a lead-in note, so the 2 here is a lead-in, so that, the word 2, not the 2, the word 2, the 4 is a leading note and it's in reference to the E, right? So the root of E. So it was, there's the 4th, right? And we're coming into It's so sad, isn't it? So this is one of the saddest sounds you can have, a minor chord with a minor second at the front. To live and that's not lined up there, your life. So what we do there, I've actually brought up the editing just in case I had it already, just in case I needed to edit, like that. So this is using, I'm just on Google Sites here. Sorrow, like that, and we edit like that. So one important thing here is to line up. You line up the word with the syllable, because if it's a bit in front or behind, it usually means well, this will always have to be lined up, but sometimes you'll have a chord strikes first and then the words come after. Let me just publish that. Get that up there. Hopefully I've been streamlining these videos and they're getting a little bit better each time. Well, that's the aim of them. And I'm doing this with very little, with no feedback really. So I hope this is informative and helping you. All right, so we have, so we've come out of the chorus and we'll go to the first line, no, the intro, sorry. Okay, so we're on the E. To live. So when we're singing, right, live your life, sorrow. So there's the -5, because remember the fifth rule? There's your 5, right? There's a -5 is just a semitone down, very easy to find, right? And I always call it -5 rather than sharp 4. I won't call it a sharp 4, even though technically that's more correct. The reason I call it a sharp -5 because you're playing in the key of C, right? Your focus is on the white notes. You're not really thinking too much theory, right? You're not thinking modes and things like that, although we're using mode knowledge to create this. But when we're playing in real time, right, we just want to get to the notes as quick as we can, right? To think that you have to go up to a 4 and then flatten it, or sharpen it, sorry, is stupid. We're already on the white notes, right? So and we already have the reference as the 5. So it's very easy to go -5, right? Bang. So, sorrow, there, and then for here, right, we're on F, right? Sorrow, there was a, so we're rising now, right? There, and we're on a 2 there, so it's sort of sad, it's sort of sad, I think, even though we're on a major chord, we start on a sad interval. I think a 2 is a sad interval. But we're rising up to a bit happier because we're going from 5, 6. So what associates something with being sad and happier or brighter and lighter is usually something bright is rising, right? You know, you when you rise your voice, when you're talking to someone and your voice raises, you're raising your voice to me, it's an alert, right? Isn't it? You get alerted. So anything that's being risen will feel brighter. Anything that's coming down in pitch is feeling sort of, reserved and sadder. So we start down here. There is a time. Now we're on a 3, right? Time. And now, so the word syllable combination is you have to, because you're writing the song yourself, you need to find a combination of words, and you can change the words, which is really good, and notes that work with your voice, right? And then if you're up here and it's not about being able to reach up high in pitch, because you can add harmonics in your voice, right? You can sing that note anywhere. You don't have to sing it there. If you want it to be up, you're going to start to put a bit more higher harmonics in that tone. So here's an example. So time, 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 time. Now when I sing high, I don't sound great because I get nasally. So I'm better sort of trying to keep my harmonics a bit lower. Time. So we're on the F, right? Again, so we're M there. So it's 2, and then the 5, and then the 6. 5, 6 is very common, but we're rising on a 5, 6. A lot of the times it will resolve from 6 down to a 5, but we're rising up because we're going on a new chord, and we're going to a third resolution, a major third. Time I knew. Okay, so listen to that. That needs to be a higher. So it's time I knew. Now, I don't know if that sounds good with my voice, because I could imagine like a female singer singing that and going even, you could maybe even go add some more harmonics into that. Time I knew, time. But the thing is, if you practice it enough, it might not sound the best with your voice at a certain time, but if you practice it enough, it gets better because you're building a muscle memory in your throat to get used to it. Now, but you have options now. You can change it. You could even change the note, but I actually like that note. I don't really want to change it, so I'm more inclined to change the word rather than the note in this case. Sometimes you might have another word. It might be a 2-syllable word, and then you need to add another note. You might just put the same note in. You might rock it. So there's so many options you can do. But to create a really nice melody, you've got to take your time and just listen to the words. Listen to how you're singing it, because you're creating it, right? This is your song. So you can go anywhere with it, right? Time I knew. And that's where we got up to in the video of the live video. Time I knew. But we could add some more now, so that it's, we are the music makers. We are the dreamers of dreams. Time I knew. Why? Time I knew something, all right? So I can go easily add some more words if I want now. If I go to here, I just shove them in. It's easy. So, and I create the songs on the web browser itself, which is really cool. It makes it very portable too. So, anyway. So there was a time I knew. So hope I'm giving you the idea of how you go about creating a song with the words. But let's try to move on here and put something else in, right? Time I knew. That's nice. So up to the 3 up there again. 3. Oh, that's changing direction straight away, isn't it? To sadder, because we're on a minor with a minor third. So we're here. We go. Time I knew. Oh, so there was a time I knew. So now we want to think about the story. As I mentioned in the last video of the creation of this bit so far, I don't have any preconceived ideas with this song. There's many different ways to create a song. So I'm letting this come because we're doing this together. This is happening now on these videos. And I actually take suggestions. So if you want to put some song suggestions and practice this on the piano and maybe do something different and send them to me, that would be really good with this series of videos if it could be a bit interactive. I'm just trying different videos, and so I've got a few different videos I'm working on, and I like to mix it up. So I don't know how many more. I've got like 3. The courses I've got, for instance, I've got 1, 2 lessons, and the child starters and the John Thomas, the song analysis and compositions. So they're the main areas I've got, and then I put in the website improvements all the time, and just trying to improve the delivery of the lessons. Because it's extremely difficult without having a student right next to you, because with a student, you learn a lot from students because you see how they learn, right? So, and without any feedback, this is new for me to do this on the internet. So it's something, like it's difficult. It's not an easy thing. So I need to get my whole system, getting more students through it in a real building somewhere. So I am looking for a home for the Akousunesis method to partner with maybe a music school. Most likely it's going to be a private music school, because the public music schools, I don't, they're too rigid. But, you never know. Miracles can happen. Anyway, so let's get to this and let's try to find some words we can fit in here. All right? So where are we going with this song? So So let's go back from here. So we were just on the E, right? So we ended up on the E. To live. Oh, you could actually have a word there, but there's that's just the intro, right? To live. Oh, to live your life. See the difference, right? It gives a completely different feel if you just start even a semitone or a tone on a different location. It can change the direction of the song completely, right? So you're like really sad here. To live your life, sorrow. Now I could go sorrow or sorrow. I could choose which one, sorrow. But I'm going to stay a bit sad, and then because now I want somewhere to go, right? I want to now go higher, sorrow, and then we come right down to the 2, but we're on a major, minor sad interval, but major, so we know we're going to about lift up it now, right? There was a time I knew. Now I think that new, for me that's difficult, but I think that's one of the nicest bits of this song so far, if I can get that vocals with it working. Time I knew. Bit difficult with the syllable. Maybe I can change the word. There's a time I had, time I was. So you can muck around with different words because you're at that note now, right? You're on one note. There's your bass note, right? There's your chord, right? So that's the interval, right? Which is just the 5th, right? But we've got to find a word that's going to match and where our vocal is here. Now, we are writing this in the key of C, right? And so we can pick precisely the notes. But if you're learning another person's song, the tool you have is you can change the key to match, to just get it right with your voice. Your voice should be, the more you practice, you should be able to handle any key. There shouldn't be any gaps, right, in your singing. You're just always trying to push your register a bit higher, a little bit higher, and see how much of those high frequencies. And for a man, it's harder, but you can do it. But unfortunately with me, I'm very nasally, especially when I have a coffee, which I just had one, which wasn't a good idea. Time I knew. Oh, yeah, the new. All right. Do we want the word new? So time I was. No, there was a time I knew. Well, where are we going first with the... We look about it and go, where are we going to go first with these lyrics? There was a time I knew to live your life sorrow. There was a time I knew. It's going high now. Time I knew something. Time I knew. So there was a time I knew where maybe it was a bit happier time, Time I knew. Time was you, things were. There was See, I didn't want to actually, this is why I do this live, because I could be sitting here getting into a trance and then ignoring everyone. So I did it live, so I wouldn't do this on purpose. So anyway, I think we can stop there, but we can continue with the song analysis and just continue it. And yeah, why not? And then I could just wait. So it could be just continuation of lyrics. I don't know what I'm going to call the next song analysis, because I want to try to keep these structured. But it is structured in the sense we're building a song, so you can watch it build from one to the next to the next. So I should maybe break this up into, say, verse 1 lyrics, and then put verse 1, and then anyway, I'll work it out. Don't have to work it out live on the video. Okay, so take your time with it, right? So, you just pick your skeleton first where you want to go. And slowly with these series, what I will do is I'm going to start to introduce new ideas, right? And more new ideas. I'm working on, seeing we're here and we've got a little bit of time, it's only 20 minutes, what's really going to help you with composition. And one of the secrets of my book, and I'm fixing it up right now, so I'm just going to bring it up now. I'll just bring the PDF. It's popped up. So this is my book, and I'm working on revision 1.4, which I'm going to release first Mondays of every month. I send them out to. So if you're waiting on this revision, it's coming soon. Before I send this out, I'm going to do a book review on it. Before I send it out, I would just want to show on the composition section. So everything's clickable links here, which is really nice. So I've got a name for these. I call them altered diatonic chords because that's what they are. So they're very descriptive of what they are. But this section here, so when I went back to here and we're saying the 3M, right? 3M. Right, so normally 3 okay, is a minor 7th chord, right? Now we don't have the little I's. Don't have any little I's. I don't do that in this system because I use these to illustrate when a song comes out of key. I don't want to and if I'm going to change a character to an M, I don't want little I's there. So, and you should really know what a third is, right? You should know that a second, third, and sixth are minor 7th chords. That's something you just should remember. I have a quick tip section where I'm putting all this information, and I've elaborated it out here. Where is it? So I'll put that as well. So that would be under. I don't really have major scales. Well, I've got scales there. I can put it here actually under the scales. So I'll put it here actually. So I've got some information here on it. So anyway, you should know a few different scales there. I'll go back to where we were. So back to composition. You should know that a third, a 3, is a minor, right? But now we've got a big M there. So that would have been E minor normally if we're in the key of C. What that big M is it's the new character you're replacing. So you're replacing that with this character. Now this character is a major triad, right? And what you will come to know if you get more into this method, what you will understand is you'll see these a lot. 3Ms are used a lot. I mean, even classical is it's a harmonic minor. You'll get to know that it's the note that's introduced in the harmonic minor. So those things there you'll get to understand. And of course, you can do the same with 2, and you can do the same with 6. You can have a 2M, right? And you can have a 6M. And compositions use these all the time. So the blue is probably the most powerful bit of any. I do it all in the song analysis. I highlight all these. Now you'll come to realise, the more you do, that these are very special because they're places in songs where they come out of key, right? And a lot of the times when it comes out of key, it gives that song some character. So knowing where to come out of key and there's the modal significance of it, like where it fits in the scheme of things, will allow you to come up with the next chord for your sequence and the next chords, right? And where you're going. So these give you a huge amount of understanding. And so I'm in my book now. All I did was I had a list of these, right? And by playing a lot of songs, I came up with a whole list of these. But that's all and I had a bit of an explanation here. But this section deserves so much more work. So I've started now it won't be completely ready for revision 1.4, but I'll do it probably over a few revisions. We'll see how much I can get done. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take each one of these and I'm going to elaborate on them, and then also give examples. So there'll be more coming in here. And I'm going to give melodic examples of where we can use these and how to introduce them into compositions for all of these, right? So 3M. So to give you an example, if you take a 3M, a 2M, and a 6M, if you're starting in a key and you start to introduce these into your song, you can pop into different key signatures. So if I introduced all those, I would be in the key signature which is 4 times around the circle of fifths, going from C to A, the key of A, right? Because the key of C, right, C, G, there's G, fifth, there's another fifth, D, A, 1, 2, or 3 times around, right? I've got my circle of fifths on my, so it's all on the quick, I should just bring it up here on a new window. So quick tip sections is going to be very useful. So you can just come in here, circle of fifths. I've got to add more information on the circle of fifths, but for now you can just see it. So it is 4. Well, starting on C, it's 1, 2, 3, right? 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. So let's have a look at that. Go to C. How do we get from C to A? Right? That's a big jump, right? Well, you can see it's a quarter, isn't it? It's a quarter. And it's very even into there's 12 notes, right? So that's 4. 12 divided by 4, 3 steps. 1, 2, 3 is 4, right? It's like a clock. 15 degrees, 30. So let's go back to the song. Oh, let's go back to the keyboard actually, right here. So, where were we? My book. Okay. Let's have a look here. This is turning into a bit of a lesson, isn't it? Doesn't matter because it's all related. It's all how we compose. And because we had time to spare, why not? We are the music makers. We are the dreamers of dreams. So, 2M. Let's have a look. There's a key of C, right? Here's all our chords, right? Very simple. We just slide up. So there's a 2. There's a minor third. There's a third, right? The 3, again, a minor third. And the 6 has a minor third, right? Okay. We'll start with a we'll start with a 2M, all right? Because we'll go around the circle fifths. So we'll start with the 2M, right? And so there's our 2. It's normally small. We're going to turn it into a major. So what note now have we introduced? We've introduced F sharp, right? F sharp. Well, if you know your key signatures, which you will know because you're going to learn them all, right? Yeah, and you're just going to know that G is 1 sharp, it's F sharp. You're actually going to learn all these. As you can see that they're going, as you go around the circle of fifths, we gain a sharp. But you need to remember, so G has 1 sharp, D has 2, A has 3, E has 4. You've got to remember these things, right? So, and it makes life easier for you. And it's just a memory thing. It's not that hard. Just spend a few, like a few minutes and then go back and revise it and just spend some time just to memorize it. It's not a difficult thing. So there's a lot of memorizations, and it really helps you when you start to now analyze things, right? And find the relationships like we're just doing right now. It's very easy to have these things pull out of your head so you don't get distracted. So here, for instance, we get a 2, right? And we take the minor, make it a major, right? I know that an F sharp is a note in the key of G. And I know G is the next one around the circle of fifths, right? So by doing a 2M, we've jumped key, right? We've jumped. So we're moving now between a C and a G. Now, if I know where I'm going with a song, I might say, I'm going to play in the key of C. And now I've hit that note, right? So I've ruled out the next key because I'm doing F, not F sharp. I did start on the Ionian, but let's say I started on G, right? I started on G. I haven't hit the note F yet, right? I'm on G. And let's go to, say, A minor. Now, it's still ambiguous in a sense of which key are we in? I still haven't hit this note, right? So we could be in the key of C or the key of G. We're more hinting of G because we started on the Ionian, but that doesn't necessarily mean we could be in the Mixolydian mode of C, right? Just because you start on the root note, right, doesn't mean you're in that key, right? You could be in a mode, and it all depends of what other notes you hit, right? So if I'm G, and now I go to F, I've sort of ruled out the key of G at the moment. But let's say I start on G and go to C, go A minor, you see how I just jumped now to F sharp, right? I didn't start on G. If I went to G, it would sound a bit more natural coming in because it is part of the key of G, right? But if I start on C, or I'll start on G, right, again, I won't hit the note F sharp. I'll go to C. Now, it does sound like it works, right? Because it's going around the circle of fifths. But let's say I go to F now. If I start on G, now it sounds like it's coming out of key, right? So depending on, by knowing these things here, by knowing what they introduce, you can avoid certain notes in your melody to make going to the next key a bit more fluid, if that's what you want, if that's the aim, if you want it to sound fluid. Sometimes you do want to make it sound abrupt, you know? Especially at chromatics, when you're coming down a single semitone, very dramatic. I mean, composers who are cinematic composers use it all the time, where they might anchor a note down there and come up, and it creates a very dramatic, or even just go up, you know, just the next chord. You're coming out of key, but it's dramatic. All right, we'll go back to this. So it's a 2M, right? So we're in that one. Now what's the other one? We'll do the 6M now. Right? So I'm going to include the 2M. So there's normally a 6 minor, there's a major. C sharp. Well, I know around the circle of fifths that the key of D, right, has F sharp and C sharp, right? And that's why it's handy to know that, right? Because it helps you when you're in the middle of analysing something that, you know, and it all clicks in. It all makes sense once you do a few memorizations of certain things, and that's one of them. Remember how many sharps and flats. All right, so we're in key of D now. All right, so the last one is the 3M, which now introduces the note G sharp. I know the key of A has the note C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp, right? So by applying all those three altered diatonic alterations, right, you know in another key. And they're no longer, if you're in the other key, it's no longer a 2 anymore, right? It's a 2 in the terms of C, right? So if you're going to jump straight into another key and do all these three operations, you're now just in the key of A, and you'll just write your song in the key of A. So these blues, if you I'll go back to my song, which was here, right? So I've written this in the song in the key of C, and the blue is to highlight that it's come out of key. But if I have another blue, say this one here, A minor, and made that A, and then I did a C sharp here, so I'm not going to have the chord C sharp, but I might have, say, A has C sharp. Yeah, well, it would be the chord C sharp, sorry. C sharp minor though. That would be a minor. It'll be a C sharp minor. Anyway, the point is, if you have a lot of blues, you could be up in another key. So then you just write it in that key and get rid of the blues, right? One of my song analyses, I had an example of that, where the song went into, I think it was, I actually haven't made the video yet. So I think it was a Serenade, yeah, Serenade. I haven't even done the video yet, but yeah, you can see since in this one, this is an example. So all these are the same, they're just 3Ms. 3Ms, see, in classical pieces, they're used all the time, 3M, so we got them here, right? So the Aeolian harmonic minor. So a classical person will say it's in a minor key. But now they're thinking, well, a minor key, what's a minor key? Something, a minor key is, well, the minor key is just a major key, right? In a different mode. And there's no point thinking in minor keys. I think it's confusing. It gives you more understanding if you know what it is. You know it's a mode of a major key, and now you can alter it. And this is a harmonic alteration. There's a melodic alteration, right? That's melodic there. This is the harmonic, and you can change it too. And a lot of classical do that, where they come up risen, and when they're coming down, they're sad. If you notice, and if you want to analyze why they do that, if you think about going up is happy and coming down is sad, right? So we normally would play there, but we're lifting it by. It gives it a lifting sound, so it takes it out of that sort of the completely depressed, sad, unnatural minor, and gives it a bit of a lift going up, right? But now we could come back down the same way, right? But it depends what the piece is doing. If the piece wants to sort of remain a little bit happier, it might use that coming down. But if we want to go back to the mode of we were really sad, there's the natural minor, we would go up, have a bit of happiness, right? And it's dramatic, and then we'll see. Now we're going back, because now we're coming down a tone rather than coming down a semitone. We're coming down even more, which it makes it more dull, right? Sadder. So that's how you'd use a melodic minor, and when it all depends on the composition, right? That's the context, is the composition, what you're doing with the composition and where you want the composition to go, right? So I was going to show the blue here. So if you look here, yeah, look here, yeah. So this is a good, and I actually explained what I explained in this video. I'm going to re-explain it again in this one, because you can see here that when I was analysing this video with this piece of music, it had a 3M, had a 6M, had a 2M, and I go, hey, I recognise that. So it used them all, right? So I'm thinking, well, wait, we weren't in that key. We were in the key of G, right? And we were straightforward. We were in here the key of G, and we were in the Aeolian harmonic minor, right? So, and we just used the 3M and go, okay, that's fine. And now we're not even in the key, we're in just the key of G, right, for section 2. And then section 3 is introduced the 6M, right? So the 3M, remember the 3M was this note. If it was the 2M and the 6M, you could say it was in the key of D. But they're a bit tricky now, and they introduced the 6M. So I'm going, all right, I know where you're going with this. I could say, I know where you're going. And of course they went there, and they introduced the 3M as well, the 2M, 3M, 6M. So there's everyone here is blue. Even if it wasn't all blue, you would just, if it was mainly blue, you just play it in the key it's in now. So that's what it would be in the key of E with no blue notes. It'll be B, E, A, E, rather than B, E, A, E with the blue alterations. So highlighting, and you wouldn't represent it like this because, I mean, there's too many blues, right? The point of having a blue is to highlight when it comes out of key. And if it's every chord comes out of key, well, you're in another key, aren't you? You're not in that key. You're in a completely different key. So, but you understand which key you're in by understanding these. These are these is what really going to sell my book. I'm not going to give all this information on the internet because I want some enticement to buy my book. My book's $25. So I'm going to really elaborate these, put a lot of examples, but knowing this could literally make you millions of dollars. And you know why I know that? Because I've played many songs, pop songs, and all these ideas here is these songs already made millions of dollars, right? And they're using these exact things, and I can hear, and I've just written a list. I've put it down, written a list of where they come out of key, and also those notes, those combinations of the tone syllable, and in combination with one of these, it's just a killer combination, and it can make songs a lot of money. So I know once people understand what's going on here, so this really has to have a lot of work, this section. So I am going to be elaborating on this, giving examples, maybe bring up some songs too where this is used as an examples, where people can go and listen. So I could do, I mean, you could write a book just on this, I think, just this one thing, altered diatonic chords. So this is coming, and it's not going to come in one revision. Whatever I get up to, I'm still going to release it as the revision, so at least you can get started. But of course, you've got the entire book to get going in, right? And it comes up on a PDF, and it's very easy to use because you can just go to that section. You can have a quick look, and you can jump back. You can read about a certain section. You can jump back up. Now it's a book review. Then you go back up to the quick jump menu. That's the first thing that I comes up. Then there's my book, and then there's that. So you click that, it'll take you to quick jump. So there's always ways to jump around my book. I'm going to do a book revision soon. It's almost Christmas, so yeah, I'll try to get a bit more done. I've been doing a lot of work. Anyway, this has dragged on and on and on, 42 minutes now. So, all right, let's end it. There's a lot more coming. So heaps more. And I'm just trying to get better and better at these videos and and bringing across the information. All right, well, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you I don't know if I see you. I might see you. Say hello if you like. You know, it's pretty easy. You just type in, say hello, and that would be really nice. All right, see you, bye.